It is my pleasure to welcome now His Excellency Mr. Mmiso Dlamini, Prime Minister of Eswatini. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Mr. President, heads of state and government, Secretary General of the UN, the Executive Secretary of UN FCCC, Excellencies and colleagues, distinguished delegates. It is with great honor that I present this statement on behalf of the head of state of the Kingdom of Eswatini, His Majesty King Mswati III, at this August gathering. Mr. President, after nearly 3 decades of commitments to combat climate change, all achieved is an increase in global emissions and temperatures. WMO has confirmed that 2023 is the warmest year on record, and the Production Gap Report indicates that the commitments made remain just words. Fossil fuel usage remains high, much against the national plans. For instance, in Eswatini and the SADC region, trucks are queuing in large numbers at borders and harbors, carrying tons and tons of coal in transit to the developed world. While this continues, the use of nature-based mitigation is being promoted as though nature is responsible for the high atmospheric greenhouse concentrations. With such practices, reaching net zero by 2050 will be impossible, and developing countries should not be made to pay through the use of carbon markets. Mr. President, let us all meet our commitments as deep emission cuts are long overdue. The Secretary General has rightly noted that we are now past global warming and has reached global boiling. Those that have led the way in development and emitting should lead the way in mitigation. Technologies are necessary for attaining net zero and should be transferred to the global south. Resources have to be availed to assist countries adapt to the climate wrath being experienced and ensure that these match the national development agenda, which remain a great priority for developing countries. We further need to close the gap in resource flows to meet the actual need through urgent, predictable, and sufficient financing, as well as ensuring availability of means of implementation. Furthermore, loss and damage is on the increase, with 2023 having seen a high number of weather and climate-related disasters across the globe. We therefore urge for the resourcing of the Loss and Damage Fund so as not to compromise the welfare and livelihoods of our people, as well as infrastructure development. Mr. President, prioritization of the above will ensure full implementation of the NDC commitments and national adaptation plans, of which Eswatini is currently finalizing. Mr. President, furthermore, all countries should be part of the agreements and commitments on climate action, as we are a global community and are commonly bound. If countries like Taiwan have voluntarily committed for the sake of the planet and people without being a party to the negotiations, then the rest of us can and must do more. And we call for Taiwan to be allowed to formally join in future UNFCCC discussions. In conclusion, Mr. President, no one should be left behind in making COP28 count and ensuring that all the green initiatives are sustainable and that are linked to the key pillars for economic development. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency.